Let's take a look at the building blocks of successful Maglaogs. First of all, a solid mailing list that you trust. Like most rookie business people, I started out believing that anyone with a pulse could be a client of mine, but I eventually realized that's not true. It's vital in just about any marketing effort, really, to be confident you're connecting with the right people for the product that you're offering. Because Maglaogs are more expensive than sales letters, brochures, and postcards, you want to be even more confident in the list you're mailing to. A visually strong cover with a promise of value inside. I think we've seen the value of a good cover to grab the eyeballs, but it's often the promise of what's on the cover that helps us decide whether the Maglaog is worth our time. Does it talk about an issue that's important to me? Does it promise a solution to a problem I'm having? As important as the visuals are of any marketing piece, the copy is even more important. Next, a page 2 letter that explains the why. I talked about this earlier, but let me say again how important it is for some people to understand and relate to the why behind what you do. When you can't talk face to face, this explanation of why helps make you more real to the reader. And sometimes it is the difference between the reader choosing you over a competitor. Next up, content that resonates with the reader. In a sense, this is just a continuation of what I talked about for page 2. Too many businesses seem to want to write for everyone instead of zeroing in on the ideal prospect or customers and writing to them. I can't say enough about finding a great copywriter. A great copywriter is going to boost revenue and easily cover the cost of that copywriter. Next up is sidebars that tell stories or give immediate value. Sidebars are an opportunity to do a couple of things. First, they break up long blocks of text. I know some people say that sidebars are great for people with attention problems because it's easier for them to lock onto the shorter sidebars first and then get them interested enough to read the main message. But beyond that, sidebars are simply great visual breaks on a page. Just as important, those sidebars can educate people on topics related to what you do. It could be information that's so useful people actually give your Maglaog to other people to learn from. How great would that be? For people like coaches and consultants, I always advise them to make sure they have sidebars with information that people can use right then, usually to improve their business or personal life. Giving people something they can use, whether they buy from you or not, helps build credibility and trust. Sidebars can be used for testimonials where actual happy customers tell readers how great you are, or other types of case studies or interesting facts about your company or specialty. If you don't have sidebars, you really just have a traditional sales letter. This is an area where I have to tell some of my clients that they're really not ready for a Maglaog because we don't have the best content yet. The next thing on our successful building blocks, something of visual interest on each 2-page spread. This is really the responsibility of your designer, but I want you to be aware of it in case you ever tackle a Maglaog on your own. People don't always read from front to back, especially long marketing material. Often they'll jump around and see if there's anything that grabs them or makes them think there's enough value to put more time into it. And so you really have no idea where they'll look first. For that reason, for any 2-page spread they may open to, we want there to be something of visual interest. Maybe it's a big sidebar, maybe it's a bold headline, maybe it's a graphic that covers half a page. Next on our list is a clear call to action and clarity on what they get. What's clear to you because you live it day in and day out isn't clear to others. Plus, we're so distracted we need to have things spelled out for us. So when someone gets to the end of your Maglaog, what do they need to do? What do they get? Do you offer freebies with their purchase? Simply put, it should be absolutely clear what they need to do next and what they'll get when they do it. Next on our list is an easy to understand ordering process. A discussion on order forms could be a completely separate topic. It is tempting to put a lot of information on a single page order form, adjusting the font size smaller and smaller. That's bad. Designers do have tricks to help people walk through the order process if necessary. Sometimes it's simply numbering the steps. Other times we might use a background color for each ordering option so that they stand out from each other and make it easier for the reader to see what the options are. Our next step is a great reason to go to your website. I'm not someone who believes that marketing in print is the complete solution or marketing only online is a good idea. I believe both print and online should work together. I have yet to run into a situation where it's a bad idea to drive people from your Maglaog to your website. If people can complete the sales process just off the Magalog, great. But have something for them online to keep the conversation going. Maybe it's a free audio or video just for those Magalog folks. And use a trackable URL so that you can see what impact the Magalog is having, even if someone isn't ready to buy at that moment. And finally, a back cover that has impact and a promise of value. In a sense, you can apply the same thing I said about the front cover to the back cover. In many cases, part of the back cover is taken up by the address information, but keep in mind that not everyone gets their mail right side up. Sometimes the first thing they'll see of your Magalog is the back cover, so it needs to pull its weight just like the front. So where do you use your Magalog? Well, as you can see on the left-hand side, most people actually use their Magalog as a self-mailer. There's some products at the top on the left there, but you can see at the bottom portion of that Magalog back page that there is room for addressing. Your open rate for a Magalog is going to be higher than it would be for something that comes in an envelope. However, some people do put their Magalog in an envelope as part of a package. Some clients will only send their Magalogs to people who call in for more information. Maybe they've done a radio or TV campaign, so the Magalog could be sent as part of a package that would include other material like a CD or DVD. Now when it comes to trade shows, I don't know about you, but most of the trade shows I've been to, well, the marketing material is pretty ordinary, or you get some trinket that you'll never use. Imagine when the attendees are sifting through all that stuff, how a Magalog will stand out. Plus, it's going to help carry part of the sales load if, for whatever reason, you didn't get a business card to follow up. There are times at trade shows where it gets so chaotic you can't talk directly to everyone who comes by. Sometimes you'll need your Magalog to do the talking for you. Plus, it's another perception issue like we talked about earlier. You're doing something that is different to what most others are doing. Finally, you want your Magalog to be online 24/7. If you ever produce a print Magalog, there is no reason not to put it online so it starts serving you from a search engine perspective. You never know where people might trip over you and your brand. So your website or services that allow you to publish your Magalog online allow you to be found by people you may have never known to target.